Arby as a concept should not be viewed by children.
Let me tell you all a story. A story about a group of internet users who tried to make a continuation of Filthy Frank way before Filthy Frank 2 ever came along. This is a story of the failed Filthy Frank movie.
Yeah, you can find me in the jungle, bitch. In the jungle, bitch. King of the jungle. Fuck being humble, bitch.
This all started back in 2017. The day I found out that Joji was no longer going to be doing Filthy Frank, I was heartbroken. I had only just got into him that same year and was just astounded on how amazing his content was. It was gross, it was weird, but I just couldn't stop watching it. As heartbroken as I was, I decided there was only one thing to do. Make a Discord server for all the fans so we can gather in one place and mourn. And so I did. I don't remember exactly what the server was called originally, but I think it's still called Shitposting Central. I left the server in 2018 because of how dead it became. I revisited it once last year to see how it was doing, and it's as cringy as ever. Everyone in there is fucking stupid, but in that low meme funny kind of way. In the early days, the server grew at a steady rate. I was the admin, there was a mod team, there was a pretty chill community of people. We bonded over our little Papa Franco, and it was really nice. It was the largest server I ever had a part in making, and its only members are still someone to look fondly on. But during that time period where I ran the server, I thought of a fantastic idea. Why don't we, as a community, make a Filthy Frank movie of our own? There were a lot of creators within the community, so it was inherently possible. So I posted on the Filthy Frank subreddit my base movie idea.
This. You want me to read a fucking Reddit post? r/filthyfrank from user u/HaroldFlowers451. This was like 2 years ago. What the fuck, Arby? You gonna make me read a fucking post from 2 years ago? That's some bullshit. My idea for a Filthy Frank movie. So, I have an idea for a Filthy Frank movie. Chin Chin feels like shit after losing to Frank on the rooftop battle, not to mention he has AIDS. When things couldn't get worse for the false god, some very powerful peace lords demand a huge amount of chromosomes from Chin Chin, and if they don't get it, they will kill him. Realizing he's weak as fuck, Chin Chin turns to the only people who can help him. Frank and his old buddies, his old fucking pals, just Frank and his friends. When Chin Chin explains to Frank that he needs his help, Frank refuses. But when Chin Chin offers that he'll leave Frank and his friends alone forever, Frank accepts. Now Frank, Chin Chin, Pink Guy, Salamander Man, Safari Man, Red Dick, and Lemon have to venture across the Omniverse in search of chromosomes, so Chin Chin will leave them alone. I feel like I lost a couple fucking chromosomes trying to read that shit, damn.
I didn't know what kind of reception I wanted from it, but what I got was something I was just as excited to see. Someone had commented under my posts that there was another Frank server, and they were thinking the exact same idea I was thinking. Bitches ain't shit. Ooh, slip the nuts and suck dick. So, I had joined this new Discord that was all about continuing the lore that Joji had put in place, using the book and the videos. The person in charge of this was a girl by the name of Abby, and if that name sounds vaguely familiar in this context, it's because Abby was featured in a terrible Vox video that was all about Frank.
Joji is absolutely nothing like that. He's taking a lot of what teenage guys think and their edgy humor.
The original idea was to do a web series that follow the aftermath of Frank's disappearance and how the Omniverse was affected. The series was going to feature all original characters that we thought up in a brand new original story, and it was going to be a great jumping off point for young Arby. But then we get the tragic news from one of our showrunners that we're no longer going to be doing something original. Instead, we're going to adapt the entire Filthy Frank book into a movie with both live action and animated segments. The animated segments were for parts that we just couldn't do in live action, and that disappointed a lot of us who were on the project. When we created our own characters, it felt fun, you know? Being told to turn the book into a movie made this project feel just less fun.
That's not epic.
No, it isn't. And with our new goal set in stone, we then founded our studio name, Beyond Realm 6.
Ironically, I go hard, though. That's fucked up.
so work on turning the book into a movie had started. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the 50 Frank book, it fucking sucks. I remember wanting it as a Christmas present, but God bless, I did not get this as a Christmas present. A user in a shitpost in Chantal gave us a free link to the book, so I actually did read it while I was in school, but I haven't and probably will never finish it. I started chapter 8. The book is just really complicated, and it's also very hard to follow at many points in the story.
Part of the ceiling then opened up like a wet pouch, pulsing and pushing out what looked like, for lack of a better description, a black fetus. Dressed completely in black, it was as though he was the very source of darkness itself.
My thing with it is that the lore in the videos was not overly complicated. You had your main character, Frank, live with his friends, and every so often, this god named Chin Chin would come in and ask for chromosomes. The story only got a bit more complex when Chin Chin banned Frank to the rice fields and was replaced by fake Frank. Now, of course, fake Frank didn't stay, and Frank came back after a long battle. With the book, the lore feels overly messy and complicated. Some months went by, and I eventually got fed up with the project, so I did the only thing I could do. I left. I left the project in its entirety. I didn't look back. Sometime later the same year, I gave someone else the rights to the shitpost in Central and left out as well. I stopped being a part of the Filthy Frank subreddit, and my love for Frank sizzled out. I still love his content, but I'm not overly zealous about it anymore. I made the right choice in leaving when I did, because the project died out in May, and all the crew members who were working on it just went their separate ways, and since then, I haven't talked to any of them. We got 24 pages into the script. The script stops when Frank has the encounter with Lemon Man in the book. There's also a YouTube channel with some stuff on it. I'll link both in the description below. Looking back on this project, it was doomed from the start. I feel as if we had done our own original thing, studying the Omniverse, that it would have been a lot more successful, but it's whatever. And that is the story of the failed, fan-made, Filthy Frank movie.
I don't wanna go to school tomorrow, I can study thinking about you, and you know I always do. I don't wanna go to sleep tonight when I can stay up thinking about you, and you know I always do. Arbrie.